back with a new video. So make sure you guys go comment, like, subscribe to this video so that, and my channel, so that you guys can be notified anytime I make a new video. And yeah, so if you can see from the title of the video, you know what I'll be talking about today, which is probably new for a lot of people because I really don't talk about it on social media. So if you're not my immediate family, then you probably just hearing about this and whatever. So I'll get started. Today is May 1st. It's a beautiful day in Milwaukee, so I'm just sitting by the window catching a vibe. And I thought about, recording this video because I want to document my journey, and I also want to bring awareness to the condition. I don't want to call it a disease or an illness because I don't like using that type of terminology. You should definitely be careful of the words you speak because that speaks into your spirit, and that does a whole lot of other stuff. But we're just gonna get into the video. And I'll just start where I am now. So I have decisions to make, and I've actually made a decision. So that'll be in the next video that you see. But this one is kind of just me going backwards and talking about how I got to the point I am today. Okay. So 2020 obviously was a crazy year for a lot of people. And for me personally, it was a whole lot. It was a whole mess. But health-wise, it got a lot more hectic than anything I've ever experienced. So I would be extremely tired, which I still deal with today. I'm always fatigued. I literally have to take 3 naps a day, even if it's just for like 30 minutes. I got to, or else I am not gonna function right. Fatigue, body pains, extremely hard to hold my phone. Like my phone would feel like I'm carrying 30-pound bricks. I couldn't even hold my phone, which I have a whole child, so that was difficult. Like I couldn't pick him up at certain points. Sometimes getting out of the bed was like rough because either my back or shoulders, like my whole body would just feel heavy. And then on top of that, like it was hard to walk some days because like my feet would just be like flat. Like if you're a flat-footed person with no arch, then you know what I mean. Like you just, like it was irritating. And it had gotten so bad that one day I was at work and I was trying to type on my computer, and like my fingers were just throbbing and they were like burning, and I'm like, okay, this is not normal. Like I know that I deal with a lot of health issues, and I've always went to the hospital. I always, got some little medicine and it sent me on my way. So this time was totally different. I went to my doctor like, hey, this is going on. I'm trying to tell you, like, I can't even function as a normal person, let alone a parent. So I'm like, can you help me? And of course, like, I was really thinking, like, because I have scoliosis. So anytime I go to the hospital or go to the doctor with any type of pain, they would just send me home with, like, some ibuprofen or naproxen, like something that you can't get over the counter, like with the milligrams and stuff like that. So I was expecting to get like some medicine and then send me on my way. But this time he was like, have you ever heard of lupus? And I was like, ooh, this is different. I'm like, yes, I've heard of it. And he was telling me about rheumatoid arthritis. And I'm like, okay, I kind of thought about that because I have a lot of problems with my hands because I've always worked in the clerical field. So I knew that like working with my hands, I would have like carpal tunnel, like things like that. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, we should do some testing because I think what you're kind of experiencing might be along the lines of like lupus. And I was just like devastated. Like, I know people that go to the hospital, be hospitalized. Like, this is a real life condition. I'm like, okay. So I did the testing and it was like a long day. Like, we did so many tests. I don't know how much blood they took from me, but that was just so, it was just too much. I'm not a person that likes to do all of that. Like, I'm not sure anybody does like to get their their blood taken, but the amount of tests that I had to do that day was just overwhelming. And then on top of that, I had to wait. So I had to wait for all of my results, got them back, and then he basically told me I had a thyroid issue. So I'm like, I've never heard of that. So I started, when something happens, we get sick or someone tells us something, like we gonna automatically go to the internet and try to, look it up and see what happens or what you can do or whatever. So I'm like, thyroid. Then I started researching, and you could either have two different types. One was hypo, where your thyroid is underactive, or hyper, if your thyroid is overactive. And your thyroid actually sits like right here. So it's at the base of your neck, and I don't know why I just pointed that out. But yeah, you can do your research on that too. Because I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to be explaining no technical terms here, because I'm not trying to diagnose or, help somebody diagnose themselves. So if you have like something going on similar to me, then you definitely will want to go to your doctor about that. But yeah, so I still didn't know, because I had to be referred to an endocrinologist, and I'm like, making the appointment with her, it at least took me about 4 months to get in with her. So I'm like, I'm still in pain every single day. Like, how am I supposed to work? How am I supposed to function as a person? How am I even supposed to be a parent? Like, literally 4 months I had to wait to see her, and I didn't know which one it was, because that was more testing that I would have to do once I seen her. So, like, of course, I'm on Google trying to figure out where my symptoms fall in, and of course they were like both. So I'm like, I can't have both, it's either one or the other. So I'm like, really, I'm just gonna stay off the internet and try to wait for my appointment to see my endocrinologist. And once I seen her, it was overwhelming too, because I had to take more tests to figure out if it was hyper or hypo, like which side it was, because it's a butterfly shaped gland, so it's left and right. And just I had to do imaging as well, so that's more time off work, that's more time away from my child, that's more time getting ready for these tests, because some tests you can't eat, you can't drink, you can't do anything, like 2-day testing. It was just so much. But long situation, long days, long nights, short. We're gonna fast forward to January, I think around 8th or 9th. My endocrinologist was like, okay, it's hyperthyroidism, and not only is it overactive, it's overactive to the point where you're gonna have to get it taken out. So your options are either to have a radioactive iodine treatment to basically burn it out, or 2, you're gonna have to have it surgically removed. So I'm like, oh my freaking God, like, this is too much. Like, let's talk about being overwhelmed. So I finally was able to get on some medication, because we knew what it was, where it was going, but this was just meant to be short term. So it was only given to me, which is methimazole. It was given to me so that once I made the decision, it would be calmed down enough for it to come out, so that, my healing process and everything would be smooth sailing as much as possible. And then, of course, with any type of medicine you take, there's always gonna be like some type of side effect. So I was dealing with the side effects of the medicine, feeling better, but then not really feeling better. So it was a lot, and I was on that medicine for at least 4 or 5 weeks. And then I had to do another round of testing just for them to see if the medicine did what they wanted it to do. So that was about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that I stopped taking that medicine. And then they changed it, because they did see that it did do what it needed to do for them. So I'm on to the next part, where I'm on a beta blocker. which pretty much slows your heart rate down, and that just, like, when you're already talking about being fatigued, and then get on a beta blocker where everything is like slower, it definitely helps with anxiety and like palpitations, because I would experience that in my hands and my fingers. So it does help. I've been on it for like 3 weeks now, so it's kind of like regulating, so I'm not as tired from it, which I'm so thankful, because like I said, nobody wants to deal with that. But my pains and stuff has definitely lessened, so I'm grateful for that. So now, none of the medicine that I've been given or prescribed or even talked to my doctor about is long term. It was just something to, you know, put in place until I was able to come up and make this decision, which in about 2 weeks, I'll have to be sure about what I'm doing and then do it. So that's going to be in the next video. I'm going to show you, or kind of tell you guys what I decided to do, and then I'm going to document everything else forward. So this video was about my condition, which is hyperthyroidism. If you've experienced anything like this, definitely talk to me in the comments. I want to hear about it. I've Googled it. I've gotten on YouTube. I haven't really seen any videos really from like women like me, like Black women, younger women. So I'm kind of interested to see anyone's journey. I know a lot of people, I get on here and I see a lot of people dealing with lupus. I'm so thankful that it wasn't that. I don't know. But again, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. This is just the first document in this document series of getting better and healing. Especially as young Black women, we definitely got to advocate for ourselves, and we definitely have to take care of ourselves, whether it's holistic or the medical route, whatever you want to take. If something is not right, and it's not been right for a long time and it's getting worse, like, don't think that you could take something over the counter or take something and it'll all go away. Get yourself checked out, build up your medical history so that your doctors know what you've dealt with in the past, so they could see the patterns and kind of figure out from there. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching my video. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.